Hi, I'm Douglas Mason, President and CEO of Rainy Mountain Royalty Corp., RMO, on the TSX Venture Exchange. Rainy Mountain's Brunswick property is located in the Rideout Shear Zone in Ontario, with grab samples running as high as 32 grams per ton gold. A follow-up drill program to test numerous targets located by recent groundwork is planned for early 2018. Please visit our website at rmroyalty.com.
Welcome to the Goddard Report. Comments made on the Goddard Report and TalkDigitalNetwork.com are an expression of opinion only. Here is Jim Goddard.
My guest is Sharon Noble, Director of the BC Coalition to Stop Smart Meters. Welcome back to the show, Sharon.
Hello, Jim.
You're very concerned about this push for 5G. Why is that?
For many reasons. First of all, 5G has not been tested. 5G, for those who are new to our discussion here, 5G is the 5th generation of wireless devices, and it's going to be using frequencies that have yet to be tested by any of the scientists. We don't know what the health effects will be. 5G uses frequencies that use very, very short waves. They're called milliwaves. And they are so short that generally they don't go very far. The shorter waves don't go very far, and they don't have a whole lot of strength. So the industry is putting microcells outside every home on this, well, basically every home. It's every 100 to 200 feet. They're putting these boxes on hydro poles or telephone poles along the streets throughout North America. And it's happening in British Columbia. There are many communities who have them already. Now, 5G is not up and running yet. But inside the current microcells, they're using other transmitters. But this 5G is being used in place of cell towers, or this is what the industry said. It will be used to replace these big, ugly cell towers so that people can have their cell phones every place that they want to have them, whether they're in the park, in their car, or in their homes. And the 5G will be radiating into your home. Even if you don't want it, if you don't have a cell phone, it will still be radiating into your home. Now, I've raised concerns before as I've been reading from the experts, because I'm certainly not an expert on this. But people were saying that the 5G, the very short milliwaves, will not travel very far, and they're not very strong. They don't penetrate the buildings very far, or very well. They don't travel very far. Well, in the last week, there was an article, an industry article, where Verizon and AT&T were celebrating the fact that they were showing to be more successful with milliwaves than they thought in their pilot projects, that they're going farther. Instead of just going a few feet, or maybe 100 feet, they're going up to 2,000 feet. And instead of having trouble going through buildings, they're penetrating very, very well. They're penetrating buildings, which means for sure they'll penetrate our bodies. And if it's outside your home, and it's capable of traveling 2,000 feet, you know you're going to get a strong signal into your home. Well, I was wondering about this, and I found it confusing until someone in the States, his name is Arthur Furstenberg, put out an article just the other day explaining how this happened. He got in touch with someone called Blake Levitt. She is a journalist who's done a heck of a lot of research on this sort of stuff. And she told him what it was. He did some research, and he's already done quite a few bit of research in historically. And he provided an explanation. They are making directed beams. They are using something that is called phased array antennas. Now again, I'm not an expert. I only know what I read, and I'll try to explain it the way I understand it, and if somebody knows better, please correct me. But what they're doing is they're going to be having this in the smartphone. They're going to redesign the phones. They're redesigning the transmitters. So instead of having one little tiny antenna, they will have multiple. And the antennas themselves are so small that they apparently can have 6 or 8 transmitters in a smartphone. Remember, you're going to have this up to your head and in your pocket and in your house. These transmitters will form one beam. They are called phased array antenna. And they are formed so that they will form one major beam. There's going to be a similar situation in the microcells outside your home because it's going to be communicating with these smartphones that you've got. And the beam, by being set up in this phased array, instead of just traveling a few feet and not penetrating your home, the power, by arraying these antennas, the power is increased many, many, many times, giving it the strength, much more strength, than a cell tower would have. A real strong cell tower like we have today. These things are going to be extremely dangerous, and they are going to be penetrating. For instance, if your children are out in the yard, and this beam is off this microcell that's on the telephone pole, your children will be beamed. The beam is directed, but it will be done in such a way where it will be able to reach different directions. For instance, it will be able to go to a car, it will be able to go to your front lawn, it will be able to go into your home. And this is something we've never had before. There was a system, he called it PAVE Pause, that the military uses. It was reported in 2002 that at military stations, for instance, Brooks Air Force Base, and I don't know where it is, I'm sorry, Brooks Air Force Base had PAVE Pause antennas. Because they used this array, they were able to go many, many miles further than the signals otherwise could. And people were coming down with cancers. They were coming down with all sorts of health problems at that Air Force base that was using this type of antenna. This is something we've got to get on top of, because these microcells are being installed by TELUS right now. And TELUS doesn't know what's going to be in it. They're going to be putting in whatever they're given or whatever the industry has. The knowledge about this is so poor. I mean, I'd never heard of these phased array until just the other day. I've been telling people, well, I'm more concerned about the 4G that have the longer wavelengths, because I thought they went further and they were stronger. But all of a sudden, these milliwaves are now going to be stronger, and there has not been any studies. We know that microwave radiation with these longer waves cause all sorts of health problems affecting DNA, your cardiac system, your brain, your everything in your whole body. It ruins your DNA. It screws up every single solitary system in your body. This has been studied for 40, 50 years. So scientists know. But this new 5G with milliwaves has not been studied. It is brand new. And the industry, like AT&T and Verizon, are doing pilot projects, not for health reasons, but to see how efficiently it reaches and how far it goes. And they're going to be putting, according to this article, they're going to be redesigning the smartphones and probably Wi-Fi modems and things like that, so that they, too, have these array antennas. So we could conceivably have all sorts of these things around and in our home. This is something people need to learn about. They need to go on my website and look at, it's www.stopsmartmetersbc.com. Look under newsletters, and the whole description, the article, is in the January 22nd newsletter. And I would encourage everyone to please send this to your MLA, Send it to the provincial medical officer. Send it to everybody you can think of, because this is something that we need to stop. And it's really well on its way to laying the groundwork here in British Columbia.
We'll have more with Sharon Noble right after the break.
Avon Resources Limited is a gold exploration company with significant projects in British Columbia, Saskatchewan, and the Yukon. Trading on the TSX Venture Exchange, symbol ABN, and the pink symbol ABN-AF. Surrounded by world-class gold deposits and mines, Avon's 23,000 hectares Forest Kerr Gold Project is located in the heart of the Golden Triangle in northwestern BC. For more information, visit us at avonresources.com.
I'm Larry Ray, President and CEO of American Manganese, Inc., listed on the TSX Venture, ticker symbol AMY, A-M-Y, with proprietary patents in the U.S., China, and South Africa. Our focus is on recycling lithium-ion batteries for electric vehicles. China recently legislated the responsibility for recycling onto their electric vehicle manufacturers and importers. For more information, please visit AmericanManganeseInc.com or phone me, Larry Ray, at 778-574-4444.
Welcome back. We're speaking with Sharon Noble. During the break, I did a brief Google search about phased array. They said very few health studies have done. They looked at possible health effects to people who live near phased array radar stations, but those studies were done back in the 70s, 80s, and early 90s.
That's right.
And nothing since.
Nope, nothing since. Nope, because they never thought it was going to be used. It's kind of like the Pandora box with the FM transmitters that were used initially by the military in the 40s and 50s. They never thought it would be provided to the public. But yet when the FM radio stations came out, that opened the door to all of the other microwave radiation that has been growing and growing and growing. This is brand new. As I said, and this, the person who Googled that is absolutely right. It was for radar stations, and nothing else. Nope. And it takes time to do these studies. You can't just do it, ask the scientists, please tell us in the next 2 or 3 months if this is going to be safe, or even in the next 2 or 3 years. It takes time to do these studies properly. And the industry is not willing to wait. In the States, the FCC, and I'm sure here the Industry Canada under its new name, is pushing this, because they're selling the spectrums. This is where the government has a conflict of interest here. They make billions and billions of dollars by selling these new spectrums of the radio spectrum. And industry doesn't want to wait. They want to get their new products out there. They want to give people all the new gadgets. They want people to be able to download more quickly. They want to tell them instead of waiting 20 seconds to download something, you'll get it in 2 seconds. Is this really worth putting your body and your family at risk? But this is why they're doing it, Jim. And they're not giving science a chance to find out really what's going to happen as a result.
Moving on to fire hazards. Fire departments are expressing some concerns. Can you explain those?
Yes, there was an article that came out not long ago from firefighters in the U.S. who were finding that houses are burning up much more quickly. They are finding it very, very common to get to a fire and it's out of control. And that didn't used to happen that quickly before. They attribute it largely to the fact that new homes are being built with combustible materials. Also, they're being designed in a way to exacerbate fires being spread. And so what is happening is by the time the firemen get there, it's up into the attic, it's gone, and you lose everything. People's lives are being put at risk. And I raise the concern that in addition, we're being asked to have, or we're being told we must have, a fire hazard on the side of our house. These smart meters are dangerous. They have design flaws that cause them to have fires. They are uncontrolled. For instance, they have no surge protection, so that if you've got an outage and there is a strong surge of electricity, the smart meters are going to explode, blow off your house, cause fires. It's happened many, many times. And combined with the fireman's warnings about the materials and the home designs, we've got some problems with home fires, and they're not being tracked. These electrical fires are not being tracked. So we really don't know how many homes are being burned up because of smart meters or other electrical devices that may be poorly designed. We just don't know it.
Should consumers be concerned, and can they contact the government to tell them we want to know?
I wish people would. As you know, I put out my fire report in September. I still have heard from no one except BCUC sent it to Hydro, and Hydro responded with a couple of irrelevant comments. I'm still waiting for responses. John Horgan, Energy Minister Mungle, the minister in charge of the fire commissioner, Minister Trevina, nobody in the Green Party, none of our MLAs to whom I sent the report. Nobody has got back to me about it. I am convinced that they know that there's a problem here and they don't want to address it. And I've been writing back and forth with some electrical engineers in the U.S. and next time we talk, I'm hoping I will have something that I can tell you. Today I learned something. I was told something that is very disturbing, that some of the test results were rigged by the industry. If this is so, and I don't know if it's so yet, I was told it was so. A very reliable electrical engineer told me this today, that he just learned it. I've written away and asked if he can please provide me documentation. But if this happened, if the industry knowingly rigged the tests on these smart meters, then that is criminal.
We'll have more with Sharon Noble right after this.
Arctic Star Exploration, operated by a team of proven mine finders, is focused on diamonds in Finland and the Northwest Territories of Canada. A work program is planned for our Finland property that contains diamond-bearing kimberlite. Arctic Star trades on the TSX Venture Exchange, symbol ADD, and the Frankfurt Exchange, symbol 82A1. Please visit our website at arcticstar.ca or call us at 604-689-1799.
In Goddard we trust.
Welcome back. We're speaking with Sharon Noble. Sharon, you released a report saying there's been a huge increase in the number of autism cases. Do you suspect it could be this electronic smog we live in?
I don't suspect it, but many scientists do, many doctors do. For instance, Dr. Martha Herbert from the Harvard Medical School and many others have done quite a few tests regarding this. Now, they don't say, and they never would say, that microwave radiation is the only cause, but it certainly seems to be a prime cause, along with perhaps GMO, who knows what else. You know, the babies these days are exposed to so many things even before they're born. But Martha Herbert has done some studies of children who are autistic. Parents have brought children to her who are uncontrollable, who are suffering so much because of autism or other neurological problems or behavioral problems. And she's told parents, take them home, remove everything that's wireless in your home, see what happens. And she said in a vast majority of cases, these children calm down. She says that she has had children in her office, and she has seen them react to wireless radiation when she exposes them to it, and then if she has something hooked up in her office, then she unhooks it. She says, and it makes sense. For instance, Magda Havas and others have shown that when people hold a cell phone to their head, their brain waves change. The thing with the autistic children is that there's something in their brain that is causing this problem. And microwave radiation keenly affects the neurological system as well as the cardiac system and other systems. But our brains seem to be extremely vulnerable to this. The brain barrier is weakened. It is broken in many instances. Now, I don't know enough about autism to tell you what features, how the children happen to react. All I know is what I've read from some of these studies, especially Martha Herbert's. But the statistics are undeniable. There are varying statistics. Several say that in the 80s, early 80s, autism affected 1 in 10,000 children. In the early 90s, the microwave radiation became an issue. More people started to have cell phones. In the mid-90s, more people had cell phones. By the late 90s and early 2000, it was, like 1 in 150 children. 2 or 3 years ago, it was 1 in 46. And the most recent statistic is 1 in 36. 1 in 28 boys and 1 in 80 girls. This is an amazing statistic. And I've seen charts tracking the level of radiation in our environment and the number of cases of autism or the rate of autism, and they are parallel with each other. Certainly, we deserve it our children deserve to have a cleaner environment. People need to know that the future generations are suffering. Autism is just one problem. Many children now are getting cancer. We're seeing more and more children with brain tumors. We're seeing so many other problems. And homes, if parents could simply hardwire everything, not only is it safer, it's faster, it's much more efficient, you get much more data, you can download things much more quickly, and it's not as vulnerable to hacking. It's a win-win-win situation. You'll protect your children, and you'll enjoy your internet and your streaming more. The statistics for the autism is just shocking. And they said, the increase of children with developmental problems is also increasing dramatically. With attention deficit disorder and other things like that. When we realize schools now have Wi-Fi from kindergarten on up, these kids are exposed all day long in school, and then they come home and they've got their tablets, they've got their smartphones, some even sleep with them. Parents have their Wi-Fi modems all the time. They've got cell phones they put beside their beds. I mean, this is crazy what we're doing. And sadly, the industry isn't telling people. What I am hoping we can get people concerned enough to help with is to put information out there. Word of mouth is wonderful, but we should demand that we have labels on our devices. Cell phones should have labels warning people not to put it in your head, up to your head, not to put it in your pocket. Don't sleep with it. Don't let children under 20 have one. In fact, people in Silicon Valley, who make these devices, don't let their children have cell phones until they're 20. Why is that? Do they know something we don't know? I think they do. And the industry is allowed to do this by without any warning to the public. If you look in your manual, every cell phone manual will have somewhere hidden in small print that the phone should not be next to your body, any part of your body. It should be close to an inch from every part of your body. But people don't know this. How many people read their manuals that carefully? We should demand that there's a label, one that you can't take off, on every single solitary device, whether it's a phone, whether it's a laptop, whether it's a Wi-Fi modem, whether it's a smart meter. These warnings need to be out there so people know how dangerous this radiation is.
Sharon, where are your websites again for people who want to update themselves?
It is www.stopsmartmetersbc.com. And to add to the last topic, Jim, pregnant women deserve to be told that they should not be using wireless devices. They should not be sitting with laptops on their tummies. They should not be putting smartphones and anything else in their pockets. The babies are suffering. They will be radiated before they're even born.
Scary stuff.
It is scary stuff, and it's getting worse. It's going to get worse, I fear, especially if this 5G comes in. And again, the industry is not being held responsible for this. We're not being told, and people deserve to know what's happening.
Sharon, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you so much, Jim. I appreciate it very much.
My guest has been Sharon Noble, director of the BC Coalition to Stop Smart Meters. Thank you for listening to the show. I'm Jim Goddard.
Comments made on the Goddard Report and TalkDigitalNetwork.com are an expression of opinion only. The Goddard Report is available online and mobile at TalkDigitalNetwork.com. The Goddard Report is a production of Howe Street Media Incorporated.